King's College, VI. Hello, school address. All the family.
School address, no idea. What's this? So, what's this?
Just make the school on top of it. So full like you just use it. Oh, okay, they just use it.
It shouldn't have to do.
Exactly.
Need to get the
The farm. That's it now.
Yeah. Rebuild KC.
Twice a month.
A month. For what?
They come twice a month. So that's why. This is your mother. Deborah is your mother. And she's given permission. Your mother has given you permission to take you guys. Are you aware? This is the consent form for diphtheria.
Please, can we move back a little bit so that there will be space?
Joel Oladoye's mother has given him consent, signed on the back of this form, to receive the diphtheria and tetanus booster dose. This is the vaccine that we are making available to all the students that have consent and to all members of staff of this annex. We will be doing the same thing at the main campus in King's College. So this is the first student that's going to receive the diphtheria tetanus booster. After he receives it, it will start working in his body and it will boost his existing immunity to diphtheria bacteria. So if he comes across the bacteria, maybe he is in contact with a child that has the bacteria, his body will immediately fight it and protect him from developing diphtheria, fever, and sickness. So that is what we're trying to do with all the children, to interrupt the transmission and stop this outbreak, not only in this school, but prevent it from going into the community. So, there you go.
You are blocking the I'm just looking for a way to block it. I mean, I share one.
I can't do it. Now, you're not the only person here.
You coming?
We can't see you, sir.
Address. All the family.
I'm here with a team from the Ministry of Health, the special advisor to the governor, permanent secretaries that cover this district. We've been sent here by His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the entire Executive Council. We discussed this in detail yesterday at the cabinet meeting. We were very concerned about what is going on in this King's College Annex, an outbreak of diphtheria fever. which has been going on now for about 10 days, a little over 10 days, and we've had a number of children falling sick. Unfortunately, the very first child that developed the fever passed away at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital from the severe complications of diphtheria. That happens when we don't intervene fast enough, when the child is not diagnosed and the disease progresses and starts to produce complications. Subsequently, once we identified that this was diphtheria, we were able to screen other children, and we took the children to various hospitals where they've been screened, they've been assessed, they've been given appropriate antibiotics, the appropriate antiserum, and all of them, as we know now, 14 were identified. 12 of those 14 received antibiotics and the antiserum, and they are all being observed both in the hospital and some of them back here, and all of them are doing well. To further interrupt the transmission of the bacteria from child to child, we've come to do an inspection of the school, to look at the sanitary conditions, to look at the ablution facilities, to look at the dormitories, to look at the classrooms, because this is a disease that spreads airborne by droplet. So it's more likely to spread when living environments are crowded. So we've come to speak to the authorities to improve the spacing between children, to improve the ventilation in the classrooms, to make sure that the children have access to good enough water, and that in the sleeping environment that there is ventilation, the fans are working, and that we reduce crowdedness. Furthermore, the thing that really works properly is vaccination. Now, normally every child is vaccinated against diphtheria, but as you grow older, your immunity may weaken. And so we're coming here today to boost all the children with what we call a diphtheria booster. And today, as you can see behind us, we have several of our staff lined up to vaccinate every child that has received consent from their parents. Because they are minors, we cannot vaccinate them without parental consent. So all the children have, if they have a consent form signed by their parents, they are going to receive the vaccine today. The vaccine will start to work in their body to build up their immune system that already exists from their childhood immunization and make it even more robust, so that if they come into contact with a child that has the fever and is exporting the bacteria in their droplets, that they are not likely to catch the diphtheria fever. We're also going to vaccinate all staff here, adults. They don't need consent. They just need to know that they need to be vaccinated because they're working with children. They themselves are likely to be infected, and therefore they need to be boosted. We're going to go to the main campus in Egboshere as well, because some of the teachers and students go from this annex to the main campus. So there's a possibility that the bacteria may also have entered the main campus. So we're going to go there as well to do a vaccination of all the students that have consent and all the staff. So the Lagos State government is taking this very seriously. We want to confine this outbreak to this school. We don't want it to go outside of the school, which is why we're also discouraging parents from trying to remove their children from the school. You may not know, the child may be looking well, but the child may be incubating the bacteria. And if you remove them from the school, they are likely to infect you at home or infect their friends outside. So this place is almost behaving like an isolation camp. It is better for the children to remain in the school. We have all our staff on ground. We have professionals everywhere. The teachers are all enlightened. We have a vaccination campaign going on. We're improving the sanitation. So we are confident that we have this outbreak under control, and would like to reassure the public that we are on top of this matter here, and we definitely do not want to see any more children getting so sick from diphtheria that it results in severe complications. So on that note, I want to bring the greetings of His Excellency from the entire Ministry of Health, and we want to extend our sympathy to the parents, the family of the young boy that passed away from diphtheria earlier on, a few days ago. We definitely send our sympathy to you. That is a devastating event. We commiserate with you, and we ask God to give you the strength to bear the loss that has happened in your family. We certainly do not want to see that happen again. We're working very closely with WHO, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, UNICEF, the Federal Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education in Lagos State, Ministry of Education in Federal. Everybody is here working together to make sure that we are on top of the matter, and we learn lessons from what has happened here. And we extend those lessons to other schools, and we extend those lessons to our policies as government. What is this event going to do to change the policy of vaccination, of boarding schools, of crowdedness, of number of children per class, number of children inside the boarding houses, access to water, toilet ablution facility ratio to students? It is all a learning experience for us as government. And so we are not here to play. We are here to take things very seriously to make sure that our kids are safe and well. The fact that you are in a school should not mean that you are exposed to sickness and ill health. So on that note, we'd like to thank the press also for the great work that you've been doing, disseminating the information that we're putting out there. We'd like to thank you for that. Information is power, and we've given you the information, and you've done a fantastic job at disseminating it across the society, across Lagos, across Nigeria. That is how we like to partner with you, and we really appreciate you on this joint venture and collaboration. Thank you very much.
Okay. Earlier during your address, you did talk about how these children perhaps they may experience some discomfort after they have taken the vaccine. I'd like for you to comment on this. Do you mean adverse event following immunization? And at what point should there be call for concern and worry for that?
Okay, so whenever you are vaccinating, there's something called adverse event monitoring. Every vaccine comes with a potential risk of some adverse event. The most common adverse event is a little bit of soreness around the site of the vaccine. If there is no soreness, and sometimes they develop a mild fever, then the vaccine is not working. So if we give a population a vaccine and you ask them afterwards, did you have any feelings? And they say, no, I didn't feel anything. Then you have to suspect whether that vaccine is actually a proper vaccine. Because that's how vaccines work. They simulate the illness. So if I give you a vaccine, I expect you to have some side effects. Commonly around the injection site, a bit of soreness, a bit of stiffness or pain. If that happens, then we know that the vaccine is working. Additionally, you might feel a little bit feverish, or you might feel hot or cold. That means your immune system has recognized the vaccine that we've injected into you. It is using that opportunity to ramp up its immune system. So adverse events are normal. Mild adverse events are normal. Occasionally, we have very serious adverse events where a patient may develop an allergic reaction or may collapse. With diphtheria tetanus booster, it is a very, very rare occurrence. Nonetheless, we have our staff on ground because the children are in the school. They are not coming here, vaccinating and going around their business. It is very easy for us to monitor the children after the vaccine. Our staff are all on ground. You can see the full complement of our public health agency here. Several 10, 20, 30, 40 of them are here. They're going to be vaccinating all day, next day, day after, and they remain on ground. We're also educating the teachers on what to expect with an adverse event. So we are on ground here, and we expect to be in full control.
Sir, sorry, I came a bit good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Well done for being proactive for doing this. So what's the plan to extend this to other parts of Lagos State, and then to us, what's the take-home message?
Well, we already have diphtheria in our routine immunization. We are encouraging all parents to make sure that their kids follow the routine immunizations plan. Once that happens, then all children would have been receiving the vaccine normally. If some children have missed their routine, then they should go to their primary health care facilities, show their card which demonstrates that maybe they've missed out the 5 vaccine or the 14 vaccine. If that's the case, then we will boost them. All right? But whenever there's an outbreak, we like to contain, we do a special boosting exercise. So just like here, there's an outbreak here. What we're doing here is we're going to vaccinate everybody to create a kind of ring around the outbreak to make sure that it doesn't spread out of this community, out of this school, into the general community. So the symptoms, yes, the symptoms of diphtheria are severe sore throat, swelling of the neck, fever, and as the neck swells, you start to find it difficult to breathe because the swelling is trying to squeeze the airway. When you look in the throat, this is what the medical professionals know what to do. You will find a white membrane on the back of the throat by the tonsils. When we see that white membrane, it's almost characteristic of diphtheria. It's almost a conclusive sign that this child has diphtheria, even without doing the test in the laboratory. So that's what we're looking out for all these kids. Normally we just see some redness in the throat. They complain of sore throat. They complain of fever. Once we have that complaint, we take them into the clinic. We examine them. We start them on antibiotics. We give them the anti-serum, and all of them are doing very well on that. In the general public, we're also telling you what the symptoms are. Look out for sore throat. Look out for swelling of the glands in the neck. Look out for accompanying fever. And when you look in your throat, you will see a white, first a red, and it turns to white. If you see that, our doctors know, our nurses know what it looks like. But as a lay public, if you see that, please go to your nearest primary healthcare facility and get yourself checked out.
Wait for your